Well, I guess most of you guys have been waiting for this because it happened again. 4 championship game appearances since 2014. 4 heartbreaking losses. Not a single thing has changed. Welcome back to RJ Rennie Unhinged, episode 2, where we're about to get unhinged. I tell you, these last 4 championship games could not have been any more heartbreaking losses. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. We had that game in 2014, the NFC Championship game against Seattle. We had a 16-0 lead going in to halftime after that game. 5 or 6 things happened in the second half of that game that if one goes different, the 2-point conversion, the bumble on the onside kick, a couple of other things that happened towards that thing, they don't win the coin toss to start overtime, we win that game and we're going on to face the Patriots in Super Bowl 49. But what happens? The Seahawks go on to Super Bowl 49 and lose. Choke, rather. Then the following year, didn't actually get to the NFC Championship game, but 2015 divisional round in Glendale, Arizona. What happens? Aaron Rodgers throws a Hail Mary and is able to tie the game with 3 seconds remaining. The game goes to overtime. Cardinals get the ball first. Then, on 3rd and 9, pressure in Carson Palmer's face. Carson Palmer slides away to his right and throws back to his left to a wide open Larry Fitzgerald. There is nobody within 20 yards of him. He takes off down, is down at the 4, and after one incomplete pass, they shuffle it to Larry Fitzgerald. He gets in and wins the game. Another heartbreaker because they gave me hope. They gave all of us hope. They're like, well, maybe they'll come back and do it. Rodgers completed 2 Hail Marys on one drive and got him back in the game. And the defense coughed it up. That team goes on and gets clobbered by Super Cam before, in that NFC Championship game. Then, 2 years later, last year, we go back to the the year after that, 2016, after an upset victory in Dallas. Oh, that pinpoint pass from Aaron Rodgers to Jared Cook on the sideline. Oh, what a catch. Sets up Mason Crosby to that game-winning field goal. It curves just inside the left upright, and boom! Packers are back in the NFC Championship game after a 1-year hiatus and 2 heartbreaking losses. And what happens? We get stomped by the Atlanta Falcons. MVP Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, who absolutely shredded Ladarius Gunter. But that game was different. That game was over before it even started. By the time the second half rolled around, I knew that game was over. So you're still upset. You're still pissed. But by the time the game's over, all those feelings have been sitting inside of you long enough to where it's not like instant heartbreak like against the Seahawks and against the Cardinals. Then fast forward 2 more years to last year, 2019. Well, in 2020, but the 2019 season championship game against the San Francisco 49ers back in Santa Clara, California, back in Levi Stadium where we had been absolutely buzzsawed the year before. Well, actually, earlier in that season, 2019, earlier that year, 37-8. Don't worry, we only lost 37-20 this time. But we couldn't stop the run. Over 200 yards on the ground. Like, our defense got absolutely shredded. Again. And not only have we been losing these championship games and these divisional games, but we've been losing to teams that have gone on and choked in the Super Bowl or in the game that they went to play in next week. Seattle doesn't run the ball on the 1, loses to Tom Brady. The Cardinals go on and play Super Cam in the NFC Championship, get stomped. Super Cam goes on and throws up a dud in the Sheriff's last stand in Super Bowl 50. Super Bowl 51, we all know how that ended. 28-3, Tom Brady wins again. 2 rings we're partly responsible for because we didn't stop the team that eventually went on to choke. Who knows what we would have done, but it definitely would have been in better fashion. I can probably guarantee that. At least history wouldn't have been laid out exactly how it was in both those games, ending the way that they did. And what happened last year? Niners go on and blow a 10-point fourth-quarter lead to Patrick Mahomes, and he gets his first ring. Not only are we losing close playoff games in 3 NFC Championship games, but then those teams go on and blow it in the Super Bowl. Or the team that beat us, gets crushed by the team that then goes and blows in the Super Bowl. There's a connection there. Now to yesterday. Got shredded by that team earlier in the year. Aaron Rodgers got thrown off his game early in the second quarter, had a 10-0 lead, but that evaporated instantly because one pick, almost six. 2 plays later, there's the 6. It is 14-10, and it's just downhill from there, folks. There is it was 14-10 again yesterday, and I was like, well, this could possibly be a repeat of what happened earlier in the year, and it almost was. After Aaron Rodgers had tunnel vision in the red zone against Devontae Adams, kicked that field goal. They went down, we got to stop, got it back, and then not much after that. We had a chance to go down and at least have a chance to go down and take the lead before halftime. Aaron Rodgers throws an interception. I'll cover that later. Not the pick, the reason it was picked later. Then what happens? Kevin King, who had been Tom Brady's favorite player on the field, Kevin King had been a reliable corner until yesterday. He had not gotten shredded like he did yesterday until yesterday. Before Jair, he was the guy. He was the second-year player when Jair was drafted. Now Jair's the guy. I want to hold on to that guy. That guy is really good. But on the other side, Kevin King got exposed by whoever he was guarding, including Scotty Miller. Ball goes back to Tom Brady. Kevin King gets burned, and then they get a touchdown. It's 21-10 at the half. Don't worry, we're getting the ball back. We have a chance to bring it back to a 4-point game like it was before they went down and got that touchdown. We just can't double up this time. We're going to try to keep it a close game. And what happens? Aaron Jones comes across on a crossing route and then gets absolutely lit up. Like, absolutely smacked. Fumbles the ball for the second time. First one was recovered by us. Second time, Bucs take it down to the 1. Then they score again. It's 28-10. At this point, I'm thinking it's going to be a repeat of the game that took place last year. So I'm already ready. I'm sitting there. I'm depressed at that point. I'm like, is this really going to be a repeat of earlier in the year and a replay of last year's NFC Championship game where you just get absolutely bullied? The only difference, on your home turf this time. Then we got some life. We got 2 touchdowns in a row. Tom Brady threw an interception, a bad interception too, a really good defensive play, a really bad throw turned into a great defensive play. We have the ball back. We have 13 unanswered points, but then Equanimous St. Brown decides to, he drops the 2-point conversion that makes it a 3-point game, so now we're sitting at 28-23 instead of 28-25, which is what it should have been. 2 more times, Tom Brady hands us the football, and we don't do anything with it. A third down sack, which has been the Achilles heel of Packers football as long as I've been watching it. And then another holding call that's not called. And what does it ultimately lead to? It leads to a field goal by the Bucs, a field goal by us. And what happens on 3rd down and 4? Tom Brady gets the flag that they haven't thrown the entire game. You never want to blame the refs solely, but come on. You haven't called that all game. Aaron's interception, I told you I was going to come back to this, in the first half was caused because Lazard was held. That gave Murphy Bunting perfect position to make the pick. Lazard was held. You could see the tug. Now, granted, 2 plays earlier, there was a false start that wasn't held, but you can't justify that as not calling that because one results in a 1st and 15, the other one results in a turnover. You can't justify that. Now, granted, maybe we don't go down and score. But if you call the false start, it doesn't lead to the holding. But if you call the holding, which you should, then it's a 1st down. It goes down to maybe we at least get a field goal and maybe something. But it doesn't turn into 7 points for the Bucs. I know that. And then go back after Brady's 3rd pick on a horrible throw. I don't know what he was thinking. If this is the GOAT playing football, he played a pretty bad game of football. Other than that touchdown, Scotty Miller had a very poor day when you have more turnovers than you should have had touchdowns. Not a very good day, especially for an NFC Championship game, and we still couldn't take them down. That's the worst part. He handed us 3 possessions and we didn't do anything with them. You got to be kidding me. But What happened on 3rd and 9 after the third pick? Another holding penalty that wasn't called. Lazard got grabbed. Again, he got mugged. He got grabbed across this way, grabbed across that. He got absolutely mugged on the field. No flag. So then the Bucs get the ball back, kick a field goal, and then we're going back down towards the red zone again. 3rd and goal from the 8. Rodgers escapes to his right. He has nobody between him and the goal line. If he does his patented pump fake and then goes, he could be in and we have a chance to tie the game. He forces the ball to 1-7 because he's had tunnel vision on him in all of these red zone trips. Adams dropped one in the red zone earlier that he should have caught, should have tied the game earlier. Then he had a tunnel vision on that 3rd down play on that same drive that Adams wound up being out of the end zone. Lazard was coming wide open over the middle. He didn't throw it to him, and it wound up turning into, a field goal when it should have been 7 points. A drop and missing a wide open receiver. Could have been 7 points. Should have been 7 points. Wasn't. Turned into 3. That same instance, he could have taken off and at least gotten closer for the 4th down, but instead, LaFleur doesn't go for it on 4th down and they kick the field goal. Trust their defense. You're going to have to trust your defense either way. Why not go for the tie? If you don't get it on 4th down, you're going to have to trust the defense anyway. At least you ain't giving them the field position that you would have given them a kickoff. I mean, seriously? I don't agree with that call at all. At least go for the tie. At least give yourselves a chance to, stop Tom Brady and not lose the game instead of send it to overtime. Or at least make them make a pressure kick to win the game. You didn't even put any pressure on them. They're like, oh, 1st down. But then, no holding penalty on defense has been called all game until Tom Brady needs it. And then, boom, a flag whenever they need it. And they didn't call holding, by the way. They called pass interference. They bought the flop. King did grab the undershirt, didn't restrict any movement, then dove back after him. After the guy, yeets for the ball that's completely out of his reach, and they called the pass interference. They bit on the flop and got the call, and that's what sealed the game. Now, I can moan at the refs all I want, okay? And to be frank, they do deserve some of the blame. But mostly, it's just another disappointing end to a fantastic season. Now, I don't even know at this point. Rodgers needs a new contract, and if I'm saying, you got to go all out. The Bucs went all out when they got Tom and stacked their roster. They were going to make sure that they were getting the Super Bowl this year. They were not messing around. We need to do that. The Packers need to go all out and get everything they need. They obviously need some more guys in the secondary. They have a really good corner in Jair. They have 2 really good safeties. They need another one. They need to solidify that secondary. The offensive line's great. I'm not sure if we move off Aaron Jones or not, but this A.J. Dillon kid, don't agree with picking him, but it seems like that pick is aging well. But don't take another quarterback. You did what you wanted to do. You lit a fire under Aaron. He had an MVP season. For what? Man, I really wish you had a receiver to look towards in the end zone other than 1-7, don't you? Don't you wish you could have made a move in the trade deadline, try to get a receiver, don't you? Another target for Aaron to throw to because 1-7 got all the attention, don't you? Where did the Jordan Love pick get you? It got you nothing. It got you an MVP season out of Aaron, nothing else. This is what happens when I talk about something that I care about. This is unhinged for you. And it will most likely happen again. This offseason is filled with questions. What are we going to do about it? I don't know. But if we're gonna get our Super Bowl, this window is closing fast. We don't have a choice. It's now or never. Aaron ain't got that much time left. It's now or never. But you almost get used to it at this point. Getting so close and yet so far away. Go Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I know I keep saying that we lose the Super Bowl chokes, but if it's a good game and, the Chiefs win, so be it, as long as Tom Brady doesn't get a 7th ring. Anyway, thanks you for tuning in to RJ Unhinged. I gotta go. I'm almost over time. God bless, and I will talk to you guys later.